I'm finally recording my weekly videos. I usually do recording on Saturday, but this weekend has just been crazy. And I have two kids that are now working. For those that don't know, I have an adult kid as well that doesn't live with us. But I have two kids under my roof still, 17 and 15, and the 15-year-old got a job. So now it's the 15 and 17-year-old being trucked back and forth to work, and we're trying to figure out the work, my business schedule, because I work from home running a writing business. My other half actually leaves to go to work. And so we're really revamping our schedule and figuring out what works again. And we are also in the midst of changing our diet plan. We are starting something called Whole30, and it's not considered a diet because it's not for losing weight. We're using it to get those little bits of dietary things that we've, like sugar as an example, out of our diet, because we've already worked in the past 4 to 5, almost 5 years on various changes. In my earlier video this week, I said something about quitting smoking cigarettes and over drinking on alcohol, and all these different changes that had to be made to get to today here. So I just want to talk a little bit about how you can set attainable goals, because life is always happening. I started this video off like our schedule's nuts. We're trying to figure out all these new changes, plus we have diet changes coming in, food eating changes, and all the fun stuff, right? And it's winter, so some days there's snow on the ground, which means I refuse to drive if I don't have to, even though I have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, whatever, excuse me. So how do you make these changes? Let's say you're sitting here today and you want to be free of sugar. You want no more sugar in your diet, but you have a tremendous amount of sugar in your diet today, right? So if you were to say, I'm not having any more sugar at all, and you just said cold turkey, I'm done tomorrow, no more sugar, your body is going to be mad. Your mind is going to be sad, and you're going to cry, and you're going to like biting your finger. You're going to be clawing at the walls to get sugar, right? I don't think that's the best option for most people. And I will, side note, I'm not a doctor. I have no idea what your health conditions are. I cannot actually tell you what to do, but I am sharing a way that works for me. And if you want to talk with your doctor and see about this, see if different methods work for you, then that is great. So definitely know that I'm simply sharing information based on something that worked for myself and my family. And hopefully you get little bits of information in here along the way that are something you can do and help you. In my opinion, it is not good to just cold turkey quit anything. It's a shock to your body, it's a shock to your mental health, and it is a shock to your entire way of life. If you've always been eating sugar constantly all day, and if you're in America, you probably have, because I have been starting to read labels closer and closer for the past 4.5, 5 years, and it's crazy. Almost everything in America has sugar added, and sometimes it's cane sugar, which is organic cane sugar, is, not so bad for you. But it's in everything. It's in everything. And if you're not eating organic, then it's going to be your white sugar, which is not good for you either. They say white sugar is as addictive as cocaine. I have no idea, but I have seen a lot of people struggle getting rid of sugar. So I'm going to say that it's pretty addictive. So do not just say, oh, I'm not going to have any more sugar today. And I'm just going to throw all the sugary stuff out and never have it again. That is a horrible idea unless you have a health condition and your doctor's telling you to do it or something. But if you're just like normal everyday person like me, average, whatever you want, I don't like the word normal. If you're an average person with little to no health conditions and it's safe to do, then you're thinking, oh, I could just get rid of, if it's safe to do, then do not get rid of all the sugar at once. Maybe you have a health condition where you just have to do it that way. I'll be praying with you for that one. But if you can slowly remove sugar, this is the way to go. What I would suggest is doing what other people I know have done, and myself included. I used to put sugar in my coffee, right? So that's where I started first. I'm gonna not have sugar in my coffee, but I really like sugar in my coffee. So I decided to switch to stevia. I went with organic stevia, and I was trying to find stevia, not dextrose, not metrodextrose, whatever the heck they put in it. You actually have to look and make sure it is stevia leaf extract, because something will say stevia, and if you turn around and look, it's going to be cane sugar or dextrose, or then the second ingredient is stevia. It's not actually stevia. It's a little more expensive, so I don't know if you want to go that route, but I would definitely start with something like your cup of tea or your cup of coffee that you're having sugar in, and starting to slowly decrease it until you have none in the coffee. Then if your creamer has sugar in it, slowly switch out of that creamer into a new creamer or a milk or something like that. My other half is switching now from his creamer and sugar to an almond milk, I think. And so he's going to transition to that for our next 30 days of this diet change we're doing. And for those that didn't watch the other video, it's removing sugar and we won't have any grains. Basically, it's called Whole30 is what we're doing for 30 days, just to kind of see what we think, what we feel about it. And I will be documenting it on brandyellen.com a bit as well. So you can kind of go over there to see what I've been cooking for meals, my meal prep stuff and all of that. I'm hoping to have some write-ups and share my thoughts each week or every few days on our journey with this. But if you're looking just to get rid of sugar, just do that. Stop having it in your coffee. Slowly wean it out. If you have 5 spoonfuls of sugar in your coffee, put it down to 3, you know, for a week or 2. Then put it down to 1 for a week or 2. And then you can wean off to 0 things of sugar in your coffee, you know, and there you are. Yay. And that took over a month. It could take 2 months to do that 5, you know, from 5 to 0 sugars. It could have taken you 2 months. It could take you 3 months, but that's okay. If you're doing it at a slow pace like that, whatever it is, sugar is just the example I'm using. Sugar in your coffee is just the example I'm using. If you can take those tiny steps like that, it doesn't matter how long it takes you. It matters that you're taking those steps. You're slowly taking it away and replacing it with something healthier. And then 2, 3, 4 months later, you're like, oh my gosh, I used to have coffee with sugar. Ew, it's so gross. And it will taste gross if someone makes you a coffee with sugar in it. It will taste so weird. So weird. Believe me, I actually went to Dunkin' Donuts and I was just like, I just want a French vanilla coffee with cream and regular sugar. And I was like, oh my gosh, ooh, it was too sweet. And years ago, I would have had, you know, extra or regular cream, extra sugar. And just the regular sugar was like, oh my goodness. So your taste buds will adapt if you give them time. And when you do it in short things like that, I call it tricking myself. And it's not as dramatic. It doesn't have as many withdrawals. It doesn't make you want to just sleep and be depressed and not exist in your everyday and not function in your everyday life. It's actually much more pleasurable to enjoy the journey, looking and going, oh my gosh, I'm down to this number. Oh my gosh, I'm so close. I'm almost to no sugar. I'm enjoying coffee with 1 spoonful of sugar. Who am I? And then all of a sudden you're into 4 years later and you're like, I have sugar without coffee. What? Who is this person? And you just congratulate yourself. You give yourself a clap. You come comment on this blog post and I'm giving you claps. You know, you can do it. Whatever it is you want to achieve in life. We just get so caught up in this bigger picture of like, I want no more sugar. And then you just think you've got to do this knee-jerk reaction and get rid of everything at once. That is never going to be successful. You might be successful. Some people, small amount of people might be successful. Cold turkey, done, no more, right? That's fine. I am so envious at times of people that can just cold turkey up and quit whatever it is they want to quit, right? That's fantastic. It's so much more simple. But people like me, we need to baby step a little because that's just how our brain works. Our functionality is baby steps, and enjoying the journey. And that helps us be more successful in the long term, right? So here I am, not having sugar in my coffee. And I don't even know who I am anymore. No sugar in my coffee. And now tomorrow I get to start switching into having a different creamer. So we'll see how that goes. But I hope my step process helps you kind of understand how simple, it's not going to be easy, how simple the process can be to change your life, to stop eating sugar, to quit smoking cigarettes, which I'll get into the quitting smoking cigarettes a bit deeper another day. So that takes a little more work, I think. Or how to get up and walk every day and how to set a new goal to replace something or remove something in your life so that you have a bigger chance of being healthier. Just do little things, you know, little tiny steps every day. And then you look back and you're like, what? I stopped keeping a journal because it seems every time I have journals, someone reads them. But I really wish I hadn't gotten rid of my journals because I would love to look back at me in my own words of, you know, what I used to think of sugar and coffee or alcohol, or I'd love to see my growth or lack of growth in other areas, you know. It'd be cool. So I invite you to keep a journal as you're going through this process, and no one has to see it but you. That way you can look back and be so proud of where you came from and where you are now. Much love. Until we meet again. Ta-ta.